Good afternoon, everybody. I thought that I would finish this painting that I was doing for some shorts. It's a real pretty flower painting here. So what I was doing is using the same similar colors in the rose and the same similar colors for this rose, and then in the leaves, I was using the same colors, varying them in the leaves. So we're going to continue on here with the really pretty, a little too much water. We don't, if I put, I'm trying to do petal by petal, but if I put too much water, then, you know, it's just all gonna flow all together, and I want each one to kind of be, I think I have a little too much water over there, so I'm just going to mop this up for a minute. Leave a little bit on my palette. And I'm using some vermilion, some orange, and a little rose in it, and it's so pretty. And some of them I am making a watery wash so that they're very light. And some of them, like this one here, I'm not sure what's going on here. Why am I not getting... Okay, there we go. All right, so I want to add some more vermilion in there and a little orange. That was the other colors. Those are the three colors that I'm working with for these petals of the flowers. I think it makes a really pretty color. And then I'm varying the degrees of tones and vividness, and but I'm sticking with the same colors on each area. I think that would still be considered a type of a monochrome. I'm not really sure, but anyway, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to do a real watery one and make this much lighter here, on leaving some white spaces. But that's how I kind of started this out, was in a choosing a monochrome type style. So, you know, I don't know. Not that it really matters, but it's just, I'm just sort of showing some different things and how you can get such pretty, and I think I did use a little bit of purple as well for shadows. So we'll see here how we go. And like I said, I wanted to have some very light petals using these same colors. This is a light one, but I am outlining the leaves. I mean the petals. I often do that, say that, I don't know why. I'm outlining the petals in, you know, the stronger color, which works really well for me. That's how I like it. And then, you know, just kind of move the color around a little, blend out the hard edges if you want. Some people like the hard edges, so it's all in what you're doing. Remember, when you're painting, it's your painting. You can do what the heck ever you like, right? So just don't forget that. All right, and then I had one on each one that was just more on the rose color. So we're going to take this one here, leaving some white spaces. And this was not wet first, so I'm going to move some of this around a little bit, get some lighter areas, and go in and add around the base of, and that's where I went to some of the purple, you know, for the shadow, and sort of put that in like this around each area. I had drawn so many, I didn't realize I drew so many petals in this. I didn't need all these petals, but anyway, we go with it. Never stress about any of those things. It's there, so we work with it, right? Well, that's certainly how I've learned to roll. Makes life a whole lot easier, a whole lot less stressful, I should say. Okay, see, that's, I like that. I like that, that lighter rose for one of the petals. And I'm going to do the same thing, hopefully, over here. I'm going to put some color down, outline a bit here. And just make that a nice light rose, and then go back to kind of like the rose and the vermilion. It's a vermilion, orange, and rose colors that I've been using for these flowers. Really pretty. I am using a round brush, a fairly small round brush. You can use whatever you want. However, I'm just working kind of in small areas, so I always find that, you know, the smaller brushes work good for that. Although I have a couple of large brushes that I have talked about in other tutorials that I use and could very easily do this same work with those. I just happen to have chosen this one today. And so I'm sticking with this one. It's working nicely. Let's smooth out some of the edges here. Now see, I think that's quite pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here with some sepia and add that in the center. And these here in the right in here, I'm just going to leave them kind of white. I don't really want to, I don't know if that looks right or not, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm just finishing this up, that's all. It's a very pretty painting, I think. I'm going to, you know what I think I did too is I think I actually added, I think I may have added some blues in there. No, I don't think I did. No, just purple. Okay, so to some of the areas that I want to be kind of shadow areas, I'm adding purple in with these reds, which makes a really pretty color. Or I think it does. And I'm the one painting it, so you get that privilege, right? It doesn't mean a whole lot, but, you know, anyway. All right, so, you know, changes it up a little bit. And again, I am going to, well, I'm going to add some of this rose, but with a lot of water. Oh, that's a little too much water. Okay, so with the water for more of a wash, trying to still leave some white areas here as I paint. Something that took me quite a long time in my watercolor journey to get used to, which was, you know, leaving the white edges, not having to go back, take them out, which is pretty hard to do in watercolor if you missed it. But of course you can also use, and I do when I forget, but I've pretty much now at this point have learned to pay attention and, you know, leave the little white spots. And then we're just going to put some, without too much. At this point, I have a bit of a blend on my palette. And that is something, again, that I do a lot. I blend on my palette, and I use those blends for a lot of different things on my painting. And of course that works pretty good for the monochrome as well, because I'm kind of using the same similar colors purposely, and once they're blended they still are the same colors, so it works good. That's nice. And then we're going to water down this one here, and we're going to put the same, remembering some white spaces. Used to be that I really could not talk at all at first and do that. I'd forget every single time. But as you can see, I'm talking now. So that's, you know, a kind of a thing at the beginning to remember that. Don't beat yourself up and all that. You can always go back in with whites, Chinese white, acrylic white, gouache white. I mean, there's a lot of ways. And don't let anybody tell you can't do that, because you can. So, all right, so we're just going to continue on here. Add a little bit of the pink. I think that's very pretty. I really do. And we're going to put some of those same colors. Add a little darker there. Isn't it beautiful how watercolor just, I just absolutely love it. You know, you have some water and you put it on, and then this beautiful thing happens between the water and the paints. I absolutely love it. And to think it took me all the time that it did to get into it, I'm very ashamed to say. I actually have a video talking about that too. I'm just glad that I finally told that voice to shut up, and I got myself learning how to paint watercolor. Now, I don't know about you, but I really like that. So we're going to come down here to some leaves, wet the paper first. Now, you don't want to have, dripping brushes so that, it's all... You can. I mean, I should rephrase that. I'm sorry. It depends on what you're doing. I'm not doing a super loose painting right now. I'm not doing a really watery, washy painting. I'm being rather specific here today. So I don't, in that case, I don't want to have too much water going on. I want to be, in other words, I want to control a lot of where all this paint and water is going. There are other videos that I have on there that is very loose, it's called, and I do that. But right now, today, in this particular pretty painting, I want to be the one to say where it's going, for the most part. I mean, watercolor's going to do what it does anyway. But for the most part, I want to be the one to designate where it's going. And I'm still using the greens that I used up here. And I also, for the greens, I have sap green that I'm using. I'm using some perline green for the darker. And I'm using some orange within some of this, leaving some white spaces, if you can just remember, in all the yapping. So that, kind of did that. And then I sort of ran my brushes around the reddish colors. So, same up here. The only other color I used in it was this green, of which at the moment, I'm not exactly sure what. I think it's a Viridian green. I think that's the name of it. It's either vermilion, either the red is the vermilion and the green is the Viridian. At the moment, I don't remember. But anyway, those are the colors, greens. So I did a monochrome, I'm doing a monochrome type of thing with the reds and the greens, if that can make sense to you, I hope. And coming down here and again using that Viridian color along with my other colors. Remembering the white space, dark around these areas here underneath. You want the flower behind it there to stand out. So if it's as light as the flower, well, it's not. The flower is not going to stand out very well, right? So we have to make sure that we compensate like that. We want the darks and the lights in watercolor. Super important. And all these things take time to learn. Give yourself the time it takes to learn watercolor. It's not going to happen overnight, not by any means. But if you're interested enough, you'll hang with it, and you'll, excuse me, I'm going to shut off that beeper. I don't know about you guys there, but we're having an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous spring day here. So thankful for these spring days. I don't know about you, but it seemed like the winter just went on forever. But of course it didn't, but you know, seemed it in a way. So I'm also adding some of the red. And right now what this all kind of does is bring harmony to your painting. Although this is more of just an exercise, but I'm just adding, you know, quite a few different teachings, so to speak, all in one painting. So we've pretty much finished. Oops, I got one little area here. All right, so I'm going to actually, I need this to be defined a little more here and here. Okay. And just a very light, well, too much water there. I hope you're all having a very beautiful day. Like I said, it's very nice here today. Getting warmer. The days are getting warmer. I don't look forward to the summer because I don't like the really strong heat. But I absolutely love spring. It's like one of my favorite times of year. So I'm really happy right now. And I hope you're enjoying your day as well. All right, so we got that one. I'm going to pull a little bit of that out. Take some of that purple. Kind of get the shadow going on there. Soften it up. I may not, I don't like my videos to go too long, so I may not finish the whole thing with you, but I did want to do like a type of a monochrome, this style monochrome with you. Everybody's got their things that they like to do. Well, this is what I'm doing. Now, in this particular, whoops, you know what? No, well, yeah, that's okay. I added some of the greens with the orange and the vermilion and the rose to this green. Still sticking with the same, just wanted this to be a bit on the darker side. This particular leaf here. Adding some of this actually in there. That's pretty. Quite nice. Keeping it dark beside the petals of the rose so that we can get them to jump out. See how that changes when you do that sort of thing? So very important, and so very hard to remember to do when you're first starting. So, you know, a lot of my advice is when a person's first starting to do, you know, the watercolor, just give yourself time. It's so important to give, because if you don't, you'll stop before you start, and it all takes time for everyone. It's the same for everyone. And then you would have, you know, stopped before you really had a chance to learn this art. It's not an easy art. It's not an easy art at all. That's why you have to give yourself time. So we're just gonna, sometimes I do these drawings and I can't even see afterwards what's where. Okay, there we go. Oops, I forgot a petal right here. Well, we better get that in there. Okay, so let's just, this lighter, beautiful rose color. Love that color, it's so pretty. Although this is mixed up with a few colors here, so it makes it even prettier. And then I'm going to stick some of that color right into some of the stem. And this here would be one of the greens. I don't really know what the colors of these would be, but anyway, this is what I'm choosing. And we're going to darken it up a little bit underneath. Added some brown. So this is going to be a little different than the other things I'd chosen up there. For the other, I'm not really doing the monochrome with this. I'm just making it my own colors. Because I actually don't know what these bulbs would be without checking it out. So that's how I'm doing this. It's just quickly getting these in here. Although it is sticking pretty much with the same greens, I'm just using like a darker one, a darker color for this underneath part because it would be darker. It's underneath the bulb, so just instead of doing that. And that's how we're doing that one. And then we'll go back to this green. If I can just see what I'm doing here. All right, with a little bit of the red, which is also this, kind of came down like this, is what I did, I guess. Nothing like painting in the afternoon. It's such a, I did everything I needed to do this morning, so I decided to paint this afternoon, do a couple of these tutorials. And so we're just gonna put these little cute little leaves with the same colors that I've been using. And right now I'm going to be using all the colors on this particular little thing here. This, I'm going to use the reds, some of the reds, some of the greens, the orange, just to make it real interesting, you know. Thing I don't like to do is be boring in painting. So that's mixing quite a few colors together there. Okay. And then I think I had the same thing going on right here. This is with the tip of my brush. It's nice to have. I was wondering if I wanted to show you. Sorry, I just had two spots going on at once. Okay, well, I'm going to use this just to show you what these, no, this one's not the Transin. Well, oh, it is the Transin. Okay, you see this big brush? It's fat belly. But look at the tip. All right, so we're going to get this wet. This will hold quite a lot of water. Well, I don't need it to hold a lot of water for what I'm going to do, but I need that tip. So I'm going to go in with the greens, and I'm going to get some greens onto my tip here. I don't need a lot of water. And the same, look at how I can do this. Like I said, you don't want, oh, my hands are shaking from the coffee. So you don't, but you see how I can do the same small lines with the tip of this? Amazing. It's just amazing. It just holds everything, whether it's water, whether it's the tip of it. You want to, you know, smooth it out, get the tip going on. And I can make the small, but not very well. I mean, this is going to be hard pressed to make a small leaf like this. So I'm going to go back to my other round brush that I was using, just because I want to stick with what I was doing and make some little bit darker green ones this time. And, you know, vary them, vary the direction they're going. So that didn't come out quite right. Okay, we need another green there. There we go. Vary the direction, vary the intensity of the color, the shape, and all that. So we just did a little layering right there. And over here I had the same. We'll just finish up this section here. And we're going to call it finished. Oh, that's a pretty colors. These are the same greens again. I'm just, to make the spiked sort of sides, just using the tip of the brush and dabbing, like, is the best way I could say it. Kind of makes that jagged look, if you want it. Making sure I have the dark next to the petals again. Just make those petals stand out. Let's kind of wiggle it around and get some light spots going on. And a little bit of reds in there. So it's very pretty. Some I put reds, some I put orange. And we have a petal right here that we need to fill in, and I want to make it very, very light. We want to leave some white spaces for the highlight. But a very, very light petal. All right, that's fine. And then we'll come over here. Now we're coming next to this one here. It's starting to dry, but it's not dry. So whatever I put really next to it, it's going to blend a little. And I don't mind that right now because I just don't mind. It's all the greens, so I'm not. Make this a little darker on this, not real watery, and a little darker. Well, I thought I had a darker one. Okay, let's get some darker there. There we go. Add that in so we can make that leaf stand out. Just move your colors around in different ways. And we'll do this one in that same color. And we'll do this one. And then we will be finished. And what a beautiful thing, huh? So there we go. You can add veins in some of the areas if you want to. Entirely up to you. Sometimes it's more fun after like this, so you can get some nice thin lines with your brush. So there we have it, folks. I think it actually came out real nice. Talking about the monochrome colors, or painting in monochrome, which I chose reds and greens. And that's how I did this little exercise. So I hope you like it. I hope you got something out of it. It's always so beautiful afterwards to just look at and go, you know, stand back and look at and go, oh, that's nice. That's really pretty. I could go on with different things, but, you know, again, that's not what this exercise was for. But I did want to finish it up with you, the whole painting. And also to make sure to remind you, when you have these pointed brushes, smooth it out afterwards, get your points back after you wash it out. Really important to do that. It keeps the points very nice on your round brushes. So check out my other stuff, folks, and have a great day. Bye for now.